Around a month or so ago, I made a video discussing the possibility of an Arena War Part 2 DLC continuing off of the base that the first one brought to the game. And in that video, I discussed a couple of cars that were supposed to have Arena War variants but were cut for unknown reasons. Well, one of the reputable leakers in the community, TEZ Funds 2, tweeted some information about more cars whose Arena War variants were cut from the DLC. And those cars are the Tempesta, the Dominator GTX, and the Manchez Dirt Bike, which brings the total Arena War variants that were allegedly cut from the Arena War Part 1 update to 6. Now, I don't know about you guys, but that seems like a ton of content to just scrap altogether and never use, and it really gives me the hunch that these were cut intentionally from the first update to be made into one of the main selling points of the second update. Of course, this is all speculation, but it's not just blind speculation. I want you guys to hear me out on this theory. Now, let's look at the total launch day content in terms of vehicles for the Arena War DLC. On launch day, we received 5 brand new vehicles that were not in the game prior to the update. They were never before seen vehicles. They were not just upgrades to existing cars. And on top of that, we got 7 Arena War variants to pre-existing cars, with one of the 7 being an upgrade to a bike. Well, with the cut content, that would make 6 pre-existing vehicles, with one of them being a bike. Conveniently, the amount of cut arena variants almost exactly matches the number of Arena War variants to old vehicles that we got in the original Arena Wars update, which sounds like something they would do if they were planning a sequel to the update, attempting to mirror the amount of content that was in the first update. And you could even see that further with both categories containing a customizable bike. This could be one huge coincidence that we got 7 Arena War variants to existing cars in the last update, and 6 of them supposedly got cut from the update, but in my opinion, all of the signs point to an Arena Wars Part 2 update. You know, you have the arena progression, which they made very long on purpose in order to prolong the mode. Adding a Part 2 to the update would give it some new life so that players can continue progression, because right now the mode is pretty dead. On top of the fact that spring updates are typically small filler DLCs that branch off of whatever DLC came before it, and Rockstar has never broken this pattern. For example, Import-Export launched in December of 2016, Cunning Stunt's Special Vehicle Circuit was the next DLC in March of 2017, containing races pertaining to vehicles added in the Import-Export update. And while it's not exactly the same case scenario here because the vehicles would be new, really, I say new with air quotations because to Rockstar, they're technically not new. Because when making the Arena War DLC, they knew from the beginning whether or not a sequel to the update was going to happen, and they planned accordingly by deciding which vehicles would and wouldn't be cut from the update. So those vehicles that did get cut were either completely finished or close to that at the launch of the Arena Wars update. And that's really just how game studios operate when it comes to DLC and planning DLC. They have their roadmaps way ahead in advance, and they often create a lot of assets for those future updates long before the release. At this point, I would be very surprised if the next update isn't a sequel to Arena War, and sometime soon we should know because it is DLC season after all. Plus, the QA beta branches are being updated on the Steam database, which always happens a little less than a month before an update drops. Anyways, that is going to be all for this video. I hope you guys found this topic interesting. I know it is speculation, but it's not irrational. To me, this just sounds too perfect for it not to be the case. But if you did enjoy the video, feel free to leave a like, as well as subscribe to my channel for more guide and PvP related content. I'll have a link to Fun's Twitter in the description. I highly suggest giving him a follow to stay up to date on anything GTA related. And as always, thanks for watching and have a great day.